Hello, and welcome to the Time Capsule Podcast, where we explore how to research, organize, and preserve your family history with clarity, confidence, and care. I'm Barbara Beauregard from AncestrySeeking.com, and I'm so glad you're here. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your DNA matches and thought, I know the answer is here somewhere, but I just can't prove it? If so, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common places genealogists get stuck, because DNA gives us clues, but turning those clues into a clear, confident conclusion is where things start to feel overwhelming. But here's the good news. You don't need complicated charts or advanced tools or a background in science to figure this out. What you need is a clear process. In today's episode, I'm going to walk you through a simple, practical framework that helps you move from scattered DNA matches to a conclusion you can actually explain and trust. And as you listen, I encourage you to think about one question you're currently trying to answer, because this process works best when you apply it as you go. The first step is simple, but incredibly important. Start with a clear research question, not just, I want to know who this person is, but something more specific like, who is the biological father of this individual? Are these two people full siblings or half siblings? Or which of these two sisters is the likely mother? The clearer your question, the easier it becomes to evaluate your DNA evidence. Next, begin gathering your DNA matches. But here's where many people get overwhelmed. You don't need all your matches. You need the right matches. So focus on shared matches, matches with trees, and matches that connect to known family lines. Start grouping them into clusters, even if it's just loosely at first. And don't worry if everything doesn't make sense yet. At this stage, you're simply gathering the pieces. This is where your traditional genealogy skills come in. Take your DNA matches and begin asking, how do these people connect to each other? Look at census records, birth and death records, obituaries, and family trees. What you're doing here is building context, because DNA alone doesn't tell the whole story. It works best when combined with records. Now we start bringing it together. Look for patterns. Do multiple matches point to the same family? Are the relationships consistent with your hypothesis? And does the timeline make sense? You're not looking for one perfect piece of evidence. You're looking for a pattern that holds together. This is what we call indirect evidence, and it's often what solves the most challenging cases. Now write your proof argument. This is the step that many people skip, but it's the one that brings clarity. Write it out. Explain what your question was, what evidence you found, how the pieces connect, and why your conclusion makes sense. You don't need formal language. You don't need perfect wording. You just need to be able to say, here's what I found, and here's why I believe this is the answer. And when you do this, something powerful happens. You move from guessing to understanding. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you're trying to determine which of two sisters is the biological mother you are looking for. At first, they both seem possible, but as you begin grouping your DNA matches, you notice that multiple matches connect specifically to one sister's descendants. You then build out those family lines, compare the timelines, and look at shared matches. And gradually, a consistent pattern begins to emerge, not because of one single record, but because everything points in the same direction. That's a DNA proof argument. Before we wrap up, I want to share something important. DNA can reveal unexpected truths, and not every discovery is easy. So as you work through this process, remember, be thoughtful about how you interpret your findings. Be careful about how and when you share them. And always approach your conclusions with care and respect, because behind every DNA match is a real person and a real story. If this process feels new or a little overwhelming, that's okay. Take it one step at a time. You don't have to solve everything at once. Even organizing your matches or writing down your question is a meaningful step forward. And if you'd like help walking through this step by step, I've created a few resources for you. A full blog article that breaks this down in more detail, a companion webinar where I guide you through the process visually, and a downloadable worksheet you can use as you build your own proof argument. You can find all of these on my website at ancestryseeking.com. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to follow or subscribe so new episodes appear automatically in your podcast app. Thank you for spending this time with me and for the care you bring to preserving your family's story. I'll see you in the next episode.